Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser on a Wednesday morning where I'm back to being the greatest dad. This number two is somewhere in Texas, and good old John is back at work today. So he got called in the last minute. So flying solo this morning, but there's a lot to talk about. People are already here with their cups of coffee. Sir Z, Kevin, as everybody gathers around over here, a few things to talk about. By the way, rocking this today back on our perch with Jayla Fashions, our new sponsor over here. So thanks to them once again. I'll throw the link over here just in case people have not seen this yet. I know we shared it a couple of times in social media, but better late than never over here if you have not got down. So unfortunately, Kevin, I don't think they do ship international. So Kevin is not going to be able to get hooked up. But if you're in the US, they do ship anywhere in the US. So head on over to the website. Really, their pricing has been this one is at like $16.99, which is like nothing really for a shirt. I think concert shirts are going for 40-50 bucks or something like that. So go grab yourself one. There's the other one too. I know the first batch of orders already shipped out, hence I have mine. But and then there's also this beauty right here. So we'll be rocking these pretty much for quite some time. Till there's the new one comes out next year where it says like 21. So until then, we're gonna have to rock these out. So how is everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. Slow news day mostly actually. When you look around, even the transfer rumors, everybody's like kind of like worried about getting their feet in. This transfer season is going to be weird with those two separate windows. I really do hope that especially Liverpool finishes their business in the first window for the most part. I think there'll be some bargain hunting later on, but I do hope they do get the business done. Or wait, don't. Does he? I guess he does. I try not to look that way when Costas is there, but yeah, will Costas be here next year? That's gonna be another interesting one. I hope not, man. I hope not. Like I just like I like the dude, and you can tell his teammates love the dude. He's a really good teammate, and you do need guys like that who are content with coming off the bench in their role and stuff like that, but part of the group. But I think this team needs better because this team needs to be able to rest Robertson and play Robertson just once a week. And you got to be able to do that. You have to have a reliable backup, or Robertson has to be your backup. So this whole Kirkes thing, I don't know. I just feel like when a player's talked about this much and it's almost guaranteed that he's coming, it never happens. That's the only worry I have about that whole ordeal, and I don't think it's happening. But we'll see. We'll see. A lot of time to talk about transfers. That's for sure. But hey, if you're watching live right now, hit that thumbs up. I always forget to say this stuff, but I can't say it enough like how big of an impact it does because especially over the last few weeks over here we've gained a lot of new viewers, mainly because the thumbs up you throw in there during the show gets my mug in front of somebody else who may not have heard of us. And if they have not heard of us, that means you did not grab them by the ear and drag them over here. So a thumbs up really goes a long way. So do appreciate that. Good morning, Alan. How are we doing? We did get Van Dyke and Ali. Ali was not rumored for that long. Van Dyke, I guess, is one that went on. We were like, oh, sorry about that. We didn't mean to talk to him and stuff. But was Ali? I don't remember Ali being that long of Heck, I remember when we signed Ali, people were like, this is the guy we put five past. Why are we getting him and stuff like that? But, that's fans for you. Let's talk about this because I am finding this more and more. This is like a great social experiment we're doing over here. And I will throw the link. And if you have not voted yet, you can throw in your vote over here. This is our YouTube um, poll that our boy John actually created. He throws a couple of these on there. So I will share this. This is, as of now, this is becoming a great social experiment over here. And I'll explain to you guys why I think it's a social experiment. We have 58 votes in right now. The basis of the question is, after the whole contract debacle, is Trent still a Liverpool legend? And out of the 58 votes, you can do the math, but 43% said yes, 57% said no. I think it's being that close is kind of like interesting to me. Good morning, Godfrey. How's it going? Actually, I will be talking about Arteta in a little bit. We'd love to get your take, actually, because we did talk about it on the panel show as well. We haven't had Arsenal on the panel show in a couple of weeks over here, a couple of months, I guess, if you think about it. But so I did ask the Brentford, United, and Newcastle guys about some of the things that Arteta said. We'll talk about that. He's such an unlikable character, but back to some Arsenal fans as well. But I would love to get your take on that stuff as well, Godfrey, when we get to that subject. But let's talk about this over here. I really think there's two huge things to this. The question is a little loaded because I think the Liverpool legend part is not really. I mean, we kind of established this on Monday night with some of the comments in the audience too. I think we have different concept of what we consider a legend of the club. I mean, I think people are a lot less selective in some ways, maybe, or maybe I'm too selective. I mean, I guess it can go both ways, but I feel like you have to be really, really, really up there for me to consider a player a legend, especially when it comes to a club like Liverpool. You better be really, really up there to be considered a legend. Otherwise, if you're throwing that legend status around all over the freaking place, then it kind of like diminishes its value. But I think I can't remember who it was, but I think Jimbo was in the audience and threw a list that I was like, yes, I can't argue any names there, like Hansen, Douglas, John Barnes, Rush. I mean, there were players, and you can look at a Rush. It doesn't matter if they left. Kind of like how Jamie Carragher says, it's like more like how you're leaving kind of thing. But the how you're leaving part alone, I think, takes Trent out of the legend conversation. My vote went to no for sure. But aside from that, I don't know. It's a player that had a great run. I think when we look back, we're going to see if how we look at it like 10 years from now. Yeah, Rush left, came back, came right back in some ways. But I think it's like how you leave, why you leave. It's just like you say, some of those players, like like when Stevie G almost left and like Coutinho and stuff like that, you could almost kind of say, well, yeah, like they want to win and so like you're leaving a winner now. I think it's kind of like totally has changed for me at least how I look at the situation. If Liverpool were where Spurs are now, and you have this bright young dude that's world class, and he's like, man, I don't wanna like I want to go win trophies and compete for trophies and stuff. That would be different than a guy who's leaving the Premier League winners and with potential to win a lot more because this is just the start of this new project now. It just kind of like leaves a different taste. Yeah, I mean, Kevin says legend title should be reserved for real legends, and I can name them all, but not Trent. I don't think so either. Abdul Rahim says I go to home and away games. No, I wish. Home and away games are taking place usually downstairs on the big screen or upstairs over here in the second monitor. Depends on the tournament we're in. Leave a winner than no. See, I don't. I know what you mean there. Leave on a see. Yeah, no, I'm not buying that. I tried, man, but I'm not buying that because you're leaving. Then why are you leaving? I guess. I mean, a sinking ship. I rather have. I can understand somebody saying, "I gotta think more of myself and be a bit more selfish when the club is not really helping him get there." I kind of get that a bit more than a guy leaving a winning project and going elsewhere. I just can't like respect that, especially somebody from the city. I think it's like twice the betrayal. And the social experiment part of this, and that's why I was kind of like referring to the social experiment is like as I look at like social media and stuff like that, there's a lot of people who say, and I notice maybe over here, obviously, like the groups that we're in and stuff like that are like, more like fans in the US. And I think, I think American fans are more used to stars leaving, like moving cities and stuff like that, right? And two, I think we don't understand, because really, how many players are actually local players that grow up in their city in the pro level? Like, not a lot, especially when you talk about a city like Liverpool and stuff. So I think it's harder for someone here to understand where, like, the scale of it more than anything else, because you are leaving your childhood team that made you who you are, first of all. And yeah, I mean, you pay back with what you done. I understand that part. But I think we can't gauge over here how that is, because you don't have that in American sports a lot. So the amount of betrayal, I feel like people in Liverpool feel it a lot more, and there's a lot more anger there. We had a couple of people, who I'm like, like appreciative of, because it was like 2 in the morning their time over there, watching us on Monday nights, and they instantly voted. And I know it went direct to no, because I think it's a bigger betrayal, when it goes to that. Abdurrahim says we need more Turkish players. I can name two or three. That's about it. That I think would make the squad, if that, and the squad, not a starter. I leave that to the Americans. Really, I don't follow it as much, and I don't think, I know there was a lot of like Tyler Adams talk for once, and there was a lot of Pulisic talk that I was like really against, and I still am. When we're done, when we're But here's the thing: if a player is making a career decision at that time, I think it's totally different. And you have to kind of respect that, and I do respect that. Not maybe respect that, but at least understand it, right? And say, oh, okay, so that's why you're leaving, kind of a thing. I think it will still be considered a betrayal. And the biggest part of it is that he is not bringing anything back to the club in terms of like a selling fee and stuff. And here's the deal: for the longest time, everybody who was on Trent's camp was saying, well, that's on FSG. He doesn't owe Liverpool anything and stuff like that. As more information comes out, we are realizing more and more that he's been like, this has been in the works for quite some time. So that automatically takes, I mean, FSG must be like, oh, this is great, because they just came out so squeaky clean out of this kind of like a mess, who I still blame Klopp's untimely departure and announcements more than anything else for. Um, More than the club. I know everybody loves to blame the club, but I really do blame the timing of Klopp, because I don't I didn't expect Trent, I mean, not Trent, Van Dijk and Mo to commit to something that they were not sure about. Everybody takes it more like, oh, we wanted to see how they would age. I don't think so. I think it's more about them looking to see where things are headed, especially for those guys, their last 3, 4 seasons or whatever of their career, they want to do it at the top level, competing for stuff. So I don't blame them for saying, well, wait a second here, like, let's see how this new guy is, how things are working out, then I'll make a decision. Everybody kind of flipped that and made it look like Liverpool was more like, well, let's see how you guys age over here. Is it going to be wine or is it going to be vinegar, kind of a deal? But I don't think that's what it was. It was more of that, um in terms of trying to see how the project was going to go, whereas Trent had kind of like been working on this, had nothing to do with that. He was already kind of working and getting on a roller coaster, with his buddy Bellingham. I think the amount of the betrayal, how it can be defended, is beyond me. And people are really, really trying to find ways, kind of like when people were defending his defending or lack of defending. People are like really doing some like mental gymnastics, to come up with ways to defend it. I just don't see a way. I'm sorry, I just don't see a way. You've been kind of working on this throughout, so you not bringing anything to the club in return is all on you. Not that you necessarily owe it, but then you know what? You shouldn't have been silent, hiding this entire time. For months and months, he's been hiding like a wimp and not saying shit. You know what? Just man up then to what you've been working on behind the scenes, and say what the situation is and where you're at and stuff like that. When you have people who are more pros, like I say, I mean, we were talking about this on Monday night. I said this on Monday night. When you look back and you had these three guys, you would have thought Trent would be the one that's most forthcoming and saying, I really want to stay here. This is my childhood club and stuff like that. And but like no, that's the opposite of what happened. You had Van Dijk and Mo constantly saying, "I want to stay here. This is the goal," but still got to be professional and still do your negotiating and stuff like that. I understand that it's still a bit. You're gonna do that. You're gonna try to maximize what you get. That's all fair, but not Trent. He just hit. He just didn't say anything. I'm not discussing this in public and stuff. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. And how is Trent blaming the club like Genie did? Because that has nothing to do. I mean, Genie was a total different situation where we were not going to resign him, and I understand this club not resigning aging players. I Trent can blame the club. It has come out. It's too freaking late for Trent. It has come out that he's been kind of working on this for quite some time. There was another video that came out from like Fabrizio and stuff like that talking about this as well. From the get-go of him signing the 4-year contract and stuff like that, he has been freaking working on this all along. This was the plan all along. This guy was going to bail and betray the club all freaking along. Um, so yeah, he has no leg to stand on. I don't understand how people can consider him a legend. And by the way, can we kind of cover this at the same time? Because I see some people posting about like Coutinho, and suddenly Coutinho is like the saint and stuff like that. This is the guy who faked back injuries and did not play for the club, but then a week later he was in Brazil playing for Brazil and stuff like that. So let's not forget any of this crap. Us getting money for him does not make what he did a lot better either. So suddenly people have this recency bias. Getting 140 for him is not no thanks to Coutinho, first of all, but the way he went out was ugly either. That's why I don't consider him a legend either. And loved watching that dude play. I mean, I guess in some ways, especially, he was like part of the. He was part of the the star of that team. It was the guy to watch and stuff like that. Ridiculous goals. I mean, loved watching him, little magician, all that kind of stuff. But this recency bias of like, he did, Coutinho did this. No, Coutinho faked a freaking back injury that wasn't there not to play. So he's no saint either. But when it comes to trends, I just don't see how anybody is defending him. I just don't. Solo, what's up, man? How's it going? Um, but yeah, I mean, when you look at this poll right here and 58 votes, I really want to see the 43%. I just want to know why they consider him a legend, I guess, more than anything like that. But that doesn't have anything to do with Coutinho. See, that's my thing. Like, we got Van Dijk and Ali out of Coutinho, all is forgiven. So if we sign Nunez with the Coutinho money, then we're not going to forgive Coutinho. That's not on Coutinho to be like, oh, we brought these. It's not like Coutinho was like, I'm leaving, but you guys can have these guys. That's not what happened. We used that money well, but the sense that I get is if we signed Nunez and name me another Keita or somebody like that with that money instead, then Coutinho is a jackass too. That it shouldn't work like that. We made goods on the money we used and got the most of it. I mean, you got Van Dyke and Ali out of it. That's ridiculous, by the way. Hey, what's going on, man? Yes, I was saying thanks, Solo. Like, get him going over here. Hit that thumbs up. And yeah, if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. And as I always say, grab a friend by the ear and drag him around so that they can tell us why they're saying Trent is a legend. I really, really find it difficult to justify that. Really do. I unless you just started, when we were talking with Mateusz on Monday, like he was talking about, he not grew up, I guess, but his more recency bias is watching Trent from, being a teenager to the star that he is and stuff like the last 7, 8 years. So I kind of understand that, unless that was like, oh, like Trent. I mean, the last couple of seasons I've been talking about it, and now it suddenly became got to everybody's attention that his defending is brutal. It was brutal all along, and all these people kept making excuses for, oh, it's the system. He's supposed to be up there. It wasn't never because he was up there. He was back and he wasn't paying attention. The dude has zero defensive awareness. If you were playing Football Manager, you wouldn't put Trent in D. And people wanted him to play midfield. And if he thinks he's going to play a midfield in Real, that will be another joy to watch. And I do not think he's going to do well and he will find out the hard way what happens when the media, for one, the local media has protected Trent from criticism for ages, ages, for a guy who couldn't defend for ages, and fans have defended him for ages. It's going to be very interesting when he goes to an environment where they could not care less who the hell you are, and they're more, more used to really going at, especially foreign players, especially due to his race and stuff like that. They will be all over him when he makes those mistakes, and I think we'll find out. He'll find out the hard way, and I will not feel sorry one bit when he's freaking getting hammered over there because he has pretty much asked for this, and he better not try to put his tail between the legs and try to come back afterwards because I would not. I did not want him to resign as long as like a month ago or so. I was like, it's too late now. Don't resign. Just go because I don't want to watch more of this. And you know what? Van Dyke and Mo entire year, you never saw him disinterested. You never saw him out of it and stuff like that. That's probably one of the single worst performances I've seen out of a Liverpool player. That game he had against United. So let's not forget. And there's like, oh, the corner taking quickly. That's great. Genie has a great memory in the Barcelona game too. But we don't go back and be like idolize him and make him a legend. You can be a good player. You can be a solid player of this team. But when you leave the way you leave, that's what you chose. You chose being a legend to go play with your buddy over there. And I'll be honest, I hate to say it, man. I hope he gets hammered. I'm at that point. I hope he gets hammered. All these people like trying to tell me what you'll never walk alone means and we should wish him the best and stuff. No, no, that's not what you'll never walk alone means. You don't kick me in the balls and then expect me to wish you well. It just does not work like that. It doesn't work like that for me. I'm kind of a hater. I hold grudges. So if he's leaving like that, I'm not going to be, yeah, like literally dipping out the back door. I think that's the perfect way to put it. Let's go to the comments real quick. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and I thank you. I've been saying this for months, and nobody believed me. And this is probably what the reason was. This was probably was going to be announced like a couple of months ago, but they did not want to throw Trent under the bus, and maybe they should have. Looking back to it, I was another Coutinho, but at least he got us the bag. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like it apparently it doesn't mean more, right? I mean, he's basically saying this doesn't mean more, and you can for people to still protect him. He literally is saying this does not mean more. That's all he's freaking saying as a Liverpool guy, as a Liverpool lad living his dreams and stuff like that. Shut the hell up. I mean, I don't understand how people are still. He milked that thing for ages. Meanwhile, he was working on it in the background of like orchestrating this move. And if you're still protecting him and considering him a legend, I don't know what to tell you, man. But yeah, you're a lot nicer guy than I am because I am not going with that. Then yeah, let's do some age revelations over here. He's just spoiled his ending, but I think that's the ending is a huge part of the ordeal, and it's not even an ending. He's only 25. He's only 25. This is not like he went at like 31 years old and stuff like that. Yeah, don't get on my bad side, Sergi. That's I'm a hater. No, I mean I don't know, like things like this, especially because of the past. If you're going to go around, look, if Van Dijk did this or Mo did this, I think I would be a lot less of a hater on the situation. But when you go around for the last 5 6 years selling this, oh, just like a local lad living his dreams, like kind of like, oh, carrying the city on my shoulders, the scouts are on our team and stuff. If you're going to milk the hell out of that, you can't come back and do this afterwards and then expect people to, you can do whatever the hell you want, but don't expect people to support you afterwards because I am not going to be supporting him. I go back to this, and I've said this probably like at least like 15 times on this on this like channel now, but like how Arda Güler, who's a 17-year-old, left Fenerbahce, what he did when he was leaving to go into Real, who you would argue has another 100 reasons aside from Trent for going there, because he's not going to go compete for European titles with Fenerbahce. He might never get a chance to go to a team like Real again and stuff like that. The kid has every reason in the world, but he did the right thing. He signed the contract. He got money to the club. And I think it was like 15 or 25, or I can't even remember. And it doesn't matter because that's what he did. I don't even care about the amount we got for him. It's what a 17-year-old freaking kid had the insight to do, or his parents did. His brother or dad was not after the signing money and run out his contract with Fenerbahce. They knew the value. But you know what? That kid is still loved. People watch. I watch freaking Real Madrid, who I can't stand, to see if Arda is playing and how he's doing. And he's doing great, by the way, when he gets minutes. And every Fenerbahce fan still roots for this kid. And if he said next season, I want to go back to Fenerbahce, people would open, like, would love to have him back. I would love to have Arda back at Fenerbahce and stuff. I don't think that's, and the Trent, who's a grown ass man, ultimately at that age, has not done that. And the way he is left, I do not want him back at Liverpool. You know what? Just stay in Spain. It's nice and warmer. Stay next to Bellingham in his spare bedroom or whatever the hell you guys are going to do. But stay there. Do not come back with your tail between the legs when they start hammering you over there, because you do not track back. Even when you do track back, one give and go and you're lost. You don't know where the hell to be. So they will, by the way, the Hadel. Honestly, I'm gonna do the hate along, even when they're not playing against us. But I think somebody was mentioning it. I can't remember Monday morning or Monday night in the audience that maybe it was Thursday actually. There will be, somehow they will be matched in the Champions League next season for a fixture one way or the other. They'll be in the group or one of the games and stuff like that, because it will work out like that. FIFA likes working things out like that. Now that they can, like, kind of, oh, it's AI doing it and stuff. It's just like probably like some guy is over there working on it as we speak, and then eventually they're gonna be like, AI came up with this. No, they don't even have to put like sticky stuff on the balls anymore. They're like, hey, you know what? We're just like AI, like it and figure it out. 20 years from now, we'll see. We're looking at Trent's spectacular goals and passes. And what will you say? Is what the question is now. What will you say, and how will you turn off and go to the next highlights when you're watching those, Alan? Because when I look at that, I will remember how he left. And I will be like, wish he wasn't a douchebag on his way out, is what I'm going to say. Whereas when I watch Bobby, when I watch Sadio, even, a lot of players, you kind of like finish the highlights with a smile on your face. If I watch that title winning team, that front three, the guys who left, I still watch, I was like, oh man, what a player he was, is how I remember it. Whereas when I watch the Trent highlights, same way I watch Coutinho highlights, I was like, man, what a player he was, but he was an asshole on the way out. And I would just not forgive you for that. I'm sorry. Like, what you did while you were in the jersey doesn't excuse how you leave the club afterwards. Sorry. Salah literally said on his IG post, "We'll meet again soon." Oh, was that maybe he's, well, good thing he's signing the contract, because can you imagine, everybody's like, is he going to Real too? That was yeah, I mean, there you go. They can do that. And that's another thing, is this feels so, I don't know, man. Yeah, this kind of like, the more I talk about it, the more angrier I get about it, because I've been the biggest probably critic over here anyway. And this last year has been even more brutal. And suddenly people started watching how he plays actually, and started criticizing and defending. He has been like this throughout. Do not kid yourselves. And people people who gave a lot of shit to Henderson and that midfield for not being creative, and just raved about how great Trent was, do not realize that that midfield had to defend for Trent for him to go up and do what he did. I mean, that's what Henderson was doing like 60% of the time. You can talk to, like, in that interview, the way Saboslai talks, you can tell he's not too thrilled about having to defend that side all the time, because Mo worked out a deal where he stays up, and you have a right back who doesn't come back, track back, and lost his positioning. So it would be, this is a good question. Yes, I mean, that's the thing. It's just annoying, man. I don't know. Especially as more news comes out, all the people who were trying to still defend them are like now not as much around, like in terms of like how he was kind of like orchestrating this thing. It was already pretty much done and all that. So where do I send the invoice for this therapy session? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is some stuff that these are the kind of things that really aggravate me more than anything else. To be honest with you, I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm usually not this angry. John is not here to be the happy guy to balance things out. So this is what happens when I don't have a second chair to kind of like balance things out. This is interesting. So I'll ask the audience this: between him, Owen, and McManaman, which one is worse? Definitely not McManaman. I will take McManaman out of that equation. Probably Owen, right? I think I'm gonna say Owen just because, and then he came back. Which, by the way, his like trans story is not written, finished yet, so it's probably not fair to gauge. Because if Owen left, and that's where we were comparing him, I think we might say Trent. But when you look at the finished story of Owen, where he came back and went to United of all places, then obviously Owen takes the case. Like takes the cake. I agree with Solo there. I think Owen is first, Trent is second. But I think if we stopped where they left the club and compared them, I think it would be Trent over Owen. I don't know if you guys agree to that. For me, it would be. Owen, we're putting him up top because when he comes back, he goes to United. Stop everything as when they leave and go to Real and compare him that way, and let me know how you guys rank him then. Because it's not fair, I think, on Owen, and how often do I say this, that we're comparing, because when we compare Owen, we're saying, and then he came back and went to United. That's why he's the worst. If we were just complaining when they left, I don't think we're making Owen number one then. At least I am making Trent number one. I would love to hear where you guys would rank him if he was. Really, McManaman is worse. You're gonna get a payday from Madrid the year after. I don't know. I just don't. McManaman, he's like an easy number three for me. Like I didn't even put him on top to be compared. It's more like how Trent makes Madrid fans not getting angry at his defending. Yeah, that's going to be so interesting. I will love to see it. I mean, I watch him right now. Like Vasquez doesn't defend much either, but he does have the pace to track back. That Trent really does not have the top pace to. Like I always talked about, like Gomez, for example, who's a player who can take really bad positions, but he got such a ridiculous top speed. I mean, I remember like he was the fastest in the squad for the longest time. I don't know if he still is, but he would track back and can get back in position again because of that speed. Trent does not have that speed to be able to catch up. That's why when a winger makes a move and he dives like a freaking 8-year-old, they're gone and he's not catching up. So that's like yeah, I agree. I'm not putting Mecca in that thing. Kudos to Elliott. We rejected Madrid for us. That's the word on the streets. But yeah, I mean, the only good news is it's done. And don't nobody say Konate. I'm not talking contracts for some time. Not even thinking about contracts now. We don't have to talk about all these contracts and stuff. And I think Solo was saying earlier. I mean, this is, and I think Solo and I have talked about this before. This is what we kind of like really wanted and prioritized anyway. I think it was always. I mean, I know like some people flipped it, but I think for the majority, it was always Van Dijk, Mo Van Dijk, whichever way you rank him, and then Trent in terms of importance of re-signing back. And we got the two big ones done. That's fine. It will be interesting to see. That's why, I mean, you guys, I mean, anybody who follows the channel knows I'm not that huge on this, the transfer rumor, transfer season and stuff. This is like an exception year because I do really want to see what Hughes and Slot do, like what Slot wants and what Hughes gets him, like what kind of a right back, what kind of a left back are we really after? Do we want somebody who's going to bomb up and down, or do we want to do something different? That's going to be interesting. And I do think people are going to be disappointed with some of the names we get because they're not going to be the fancy ones. or highlight guys. I think based on slot style, but we don't know. We really don't know. He might say yes. If I had Frimpong, I would play like this or something. I have no idea. I don't think anybody has any idea. We don't. So it'll be interesting to see that and how who we sign, who we go after. So a rare time I'm waiting for like the transfer season over here. One other thing I wanted to get to this morning is I'm sure you guys saw the comments from Twins not moving. Yes. Yes, I am not moving. But yeah, my contract ends. No, I'm just kidding. We can't even afford to write contracts over here at American Scouser. So it brings the blueprint of what Slav really wants. We don't have to while speculating years going forwards. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. Let's see, right? It's like we just don't know. I really do think like he looked at the squad and he like when you listen to his interviews and stuff like that, he tried to maximize what he can get out of everybody. It wasn't the ideal solution. Like in an ideal world, maybe he wouldn't have a right back like Trent. But when you have a guy like Trent, then you gotta use his passing, so you do this and stuff like that. There are times where Trent does a pass. I guarantee you, Slot cringes and did not want that risk taken there. A guy who really values possession and keeping the ball and stuff like that. So I don't think the balance that Trent has is probably more suitable for Klopp, or maybe that's how he kind of like went up the ranks and he can't adjust his level of like risk reward and stuff like that. So we'll see what Slot is really after in terms of like bringing somebody. So um, yes, remember that corner taken quickly. Yeah, we were talking about this. It was actually Milner taking the corner. Trent was the ball boy that gave the ball to him. Is what we came out, I think, with Monday at the end. I want to ask you guys about this, and I mean it's pretty comical. And we were talking about it on the panel show as well. And I know where you guys sit with that, but Arteta talking again, and I know he's trying to protect his players. He doesn't want to, and that's what I wanted to ask you guys. Is he just kind of going on? Look, Klopp would make all kinds of excuses too, right? Like the pitch is too dry, pitch is too wet, and stuff like that. But I think it is one thing to protect, your team and how they're doing and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like he kind of goes out of his way to say some things that will really, really aggravate the Arsenal fans who are already aggravated with him when he talks about, oh, we won 3 trophies. Don't forget the Charity Shield and stuff like that. Nobody cares about those, and your fans don't care about those. So why would you even say that? Because it makes it sound worse. And him talking about like they would have won 2 Premier Leagues with the points they have. It's like, why would you even say something stupid like that, knowing, especially over the last 5 years, if you thought, first of all, I think as an Arsenal fan, this is what I would pissed off at. If you thought, having followed this league for the last 5 years, that those number of points were going to be enough to win the Premier League, and you're shocked that it doesn't. Like, what the hell have you been watching? We've lost the league with like over 90 points and stuff. So, like, why would you even bring that up and make a point of it? One, right before going to the PSG game, which will be interesting to see later on today how they do, because if they lose today, and we were talking about it yesterday when we look at the standings, that they have a very good chance of falling to third, fourth, and stuff like that. I just like, why would you even say things like that? I don't know if Godfrey is in the audience. I would love to take some like Arsenal fans' takes on that and see what they think. But Arteta is the perfect Arsenal manager, more delusional than yeah. Honestly, with Shrek, that's probably right. I mean, he does fit him like a glove, and but Arsenal fans make Liverpool fans look like very pragmatic and like objective when they analyze things. Because I mean, one day they're firing the guy, next day he created something crazy when they beat Real. It was like, oh, he created this team. Next week he should be gone. This guy doesn't know. I've never seen so many ups and downs to the extremes. Like like he's the best ever to being fired. Like you can say he's the best ever and then criticize him a week afterwards because of his lineup and stuff. But firing him next week would be ridiculous. What are we doing here? Hold on. What am I getting? I'm getting offered 100 grand per year to host their fan show. American Galatasaray is offering me 100,000 per year to host their fan show. I mean, I'll do it. I'm just not gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna do it as a Fenerbahce fan though, so I don't know if that's gonna help them. That's on them to pay me 100,000 per year. Pay a Fenerbahce guy to host their show. I'll take the money and run. It's freaking like fleecing Galatasaray is my favorite pastime. So yeah, that would be great. So I'll take the 100,000 and just bash them every week. So sign me up for that ordeal. Um, Ellen is doing it as well. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's not doing it because there was nothing over there that I have to praise Galatasaray or act like a Galatasaray fan. I'm just gonna be a Fenerbahce fan doing Galatasaray shows, banking. So that works for me over here. So um, yeah, I mean that's the thing. He's looking at is like point totals, and he's digging through Premier League, and he's like, we would have won it in '96. I just don't understand the thinking. Why he would say something like that, knowing the criticism he's getting. I almost feel like if he said, I don't know, as an Arsenal fan, I would probably rather have him say, hey, we can kind of see how the team has advanced over the last whatever years he's been there. And I didn't realize he's been there that long, actually. It feels like 2, 3, but I guess it's been like 5 or 6, based on what Io was saying yesterday when we were digging up his numbers. I would rather have him say, hey, you know what? You can see the progress the team has made. They're in like semifinals of Champions League, competing for titles every year, blah, blah, blah. We had bad luck with injuries this season, but I think with some reinforcements and stuff like that, we'll come back stronger than ever, blah, blah, blah. I know it's more cliche and standard, but it's better than saying, like, well, I mean, in a couple of years, we would have won with this thing. Just like, why would you even say that? Because everybody sees this season as a huge failure. If they lose to PSG or if they tie, I mean, if they get eliminated by PSG, it's going to be considered a huge, huge, huge disaster for Arsenal as a season. So for you to come out and act like it is not doesn't make any sense. I just don't get that. So it is 6 years. Vishal confirms. Yeah, I mean, like nothing. He has like what is the FA Cup and then 2 charity shields. Let's not forget those because those plates go a long way. But I just don't understand that. It is toxic but entertaining. But honestly, I've always said this. I almost think like channels like Arsenal Fan TV and stuff would rather have Arsenal lose and go through these ups and downs because that's how. I mean, it all kind of started with them, right? They're like over the top happiness and over the top like disasters and stuff. I mean, I'm watching and I watch it as well because it is toxic but entertaining. Uh, like I just don't even understand it. Is it an act? Like, I'll ask you guys, do you guys think it's all an act? Like, where they kind of almost do it. They know what gets ratings now, if you will. So they like almost like a semi-pro ESPN, if you will. So they rant and rave after a draw, a loss, anytime. But then when they win, they do the, oh yeah, that was so good, blah blah blah. But then they go back again the moment losses there because that's not only their fans watch that who are angry, but Kevin, myself, and probably a lot of other people in the audience are tuning in and watching that. He's like, oh, they're going crazy and stuff like that. I almost feel like half of them has to be an act. I just don't see human beings this up and down on every subject on a like on a twice a week. Like the Wednesday you're going, it would be like me doing a show on Friday ranting and raving about how people don't consider Trent a legend. It really is like they go that from one extreme to the other. It has to be, at least for some of them, it has to be an act. Like this is the role you're gonna play. Like on ESPN, it's like a debate club. Like you're gonna say this. I don't care if you believe it or not, because I'm saying this, and then we're gonna yell and scream over each other, and there you go. We're gonna make money over here. Lego Head is a truly bitter man, totally immature. Never in a million years would he be considered suitable candidates. Oh no, I mean never. But I mean, he has like created a different culture on that team, right? But I would argue that, and I always feel like Arteta could be the guy before the guy because of his style. I mean, he manages that team like they're like a U13 girls team, like instructing people where to take the throw-ins and then the special freaking like the corner kick guy comes out, he's placing everybody where they should go and stuff like that. I mean, I ref those youth games like middle school games. That's pretty much what those managers do. Like, no, come over here, throw it down the sideline and stuff like that. What the hell is going on? Like, don't you guys practice stuff or any of the stuff established previously that you have to like monitor every single thing that they do? I mean, I just don't. And his demeanor on the sideline. Look, Klopp was like a really energetic guy, right? But man, his over the top involvement in the game, and that is his personality. I don't think he can change it really. Like, you are the way you are. I don't think it's an act. That's how he is. I just feel like these guys who are professionals on the pitch, that has to wear down eventually. I almost feel like, probably some of that, even with Klopp, I think some of that wore down eventually on some of the players. You can only take that for so long as a something to push you. Eventually it becomes like just white noise. Like you don't even like get impacted by it. Doesn't add anything. If anything, it becomes kind of like an annoyance. Like, yeah, I know where the throw in is supposed to go. I see him open too. I do this for a living. Like as a professional player making millions, you would think it would be almost like insulting that this guy is telling me where to take the throw. Yeah, I know he's open. I see it's kind of a thing. So I don't get it. Kevin says it's an act, like me pretending to get angry and like, yeah, right. Like the Arsenal fan TV thing. I really think so too. Like they have, like, what is this dude that's like always delusional? Like he's probably still saying Arsenal can't win the league and stuff like that. And then they clip it, and I watched it, and there you go. There's another view. There's another view. I think they just look at, I mean, the whole social media thing has just become how many clicks and views and stuff like that all the time, whether it makes sense or not. We were actually having a conversation with Serzi on this yesterday on like Discord that, you can really sell out and do better, but then I just wouldn't be able to sleep well at night. I mean, you can just like, I can just change it along Friday, do a different rant. Somebody will post that, we'll go back and forth. Or, you come like these guys do, everybody plays a certain role, a character, and stuff like that. But yeah, exactly. I would think so as a professional player. That might have an initial impact. But after like 4 or 5 years of that, you're like, dude, just shut up. We got it. Yes. The same thing you told us before, kind of a deal. And honestly, after 4 or 5 years, you should not have to be doing that on the sideline on a regular basis. It's one thing to get up there and get energy into the team. I understand that, but not like literally he's directing traffic. It's like a youth team or something at times, and I'm like, what is going on over here? Like, why? Just why? But let's face it, we're all rooting for PSG today, I assume, in the audience over here. So hopefully they'll eliminate them. But I will be torn when PSG plays Inter. Who will you root for? I'm kind of torn because Hakan plays at Inter, and I almost like feel like I want somebody. I guess that would be a reason to root for PSG too, though, right? Like somebody new winning this thing. PSG winning at least makes you say we lost to the eventual champions on penalty kicks. There's no really trophy for that, so I really don't know. I might start it as a neutral and eventually really start rooting for somebody. But I was definitely rooting for Inter yesterday to get to the final, partially because I don't know if you guys are on the same boat with this as a Liverpool fan, but I really feel like you might get a leg up on the Ballon d'Or thing for Mo, because they probably should give it to him. Because Yamal and stuff, though, I mean, that kid is amazing, by the way, for his age. So he will eventually get. Who will watch a PSG Inter final? I don't know. Who will watch an Arsenal Inter final? Right? I mean, I don't know. Like, is it? I know what you mean, but I don't think it's not like Arsenal plays a brand of football that's really exciting to watch either. So it's not like, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know which one would get better ratings, Alan, like Arsenal versus Inter or PSG versus Inter. But at the end of the day, this is not. I think in American sports, it's a different ordeal, right? Like if it is, I don't know, Oklahoma City playing, I don't know, Memphis or what? I guess it could be Memphis. Give me a crap team on the Eastern Conference. Like who will watch that and stuff like that? Because I think it's very like, I mean, I've tuned out ever since the Lakers lost, for example. That's kind of like how it works here. But it's a Champions League final. We're gonna watch it. Anybody who loves the sport is gonna watch it. It's like kind of like the World Cup. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's, I don't know, Bulgaria playing Romania in the World Cup final. We're gonna turn it on and we're gonna watch the World Cup final. I don't think we look at teams. We're watching the events in that case. Maybe I don't know. At least me, I know I would watch it regardless of who's playing. But you're right. Maybe a more casual person who's not psychotic about the sport, like I am, or like many of us are here on the channel or in the audience, is different than like people like us. But um, the reason I watch is because you guys are legit and love footy. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. And that's what I really want on this channel overall. I mean we're gonna disagree. Some people are gonna have crazy opinions. I mean, we do have one on here. But at the end of the day, like everybody is themselves, and that's what it should be. Nobody's faking anything. Everybody is just playing themselves, and that's what it should be. And when we recruit new people, which we are, by the way, especially for the Premier League side of things from other teams and everything like that. So if you know somebody who would be interested and who would be a good fit, so I started kind of adding this, having seen the channel, who would be a good fit. To just come in and banter and stuff like that. I really love doing the panel show, for example. I know Mecca does as well because we have a great group of guys who can banter, don't take themselves that seriously, don't yell and scream. We just like laugh, talk sports, Premier League, make fun of each other, and move on. And that's when it's fun, not when it's this constant yelling, screaming. I mean, yeah, there's gonna be disagreements, but like if that's what you're like always going for, yelling, screaming, yeah, I'm not for that. So want Inter to win, so Salah. Yeah, but if PSG wins, it's not like they have somebody who's going to go for Ballon d'Or, right? I mean, I don't think once Barcelona got eliminated, once Inter got there, I think that deal is done because it was really, I mean, from what I've seen at least, and I really normally don't care. I just feel like, Mo should get his uh, due because I don't know if Mo will have another season like this again and stuff like that. Like Yamal probably will win again as long as that kid doesn't have an injury and stuff like that. He is freaking amazing, like unreal for a kid his age to play like that is just freaking unbelievable. I'd rather watch a Southampton Ipswich game. No, not me. No. I don't know which one you're comparing to, the Bulgaria Romania World Cup final or the Inter PSG or Inter Arsenal final. But I rather, I think, like I say, I'm watching more the events in something like that, like a Champions League final and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Dom, and in a classic Dom fashion, you came in right at the end. Good morning, though, sir. I hope you have the cup of tea, enjoying that. That will be it for me today, though. Unfortunately, Dom is here. I gotta go. But yeah, that will be it for me this morning. Sadly, I have to actually make a visit to DMV later, shortly over here, right after this, and get my driving license renewed. And I haven't been to DMV clearly in a while since I have to renew the driving license. Let's see if they are still the same way, or things have changed. You have to get like a appointment and stuff now, so we'll see how to. Yes, I'll throw the link again. This right here back on our Perch by itself, and the other number 20, if you have not done so already. Thanks to JLo Fashions once again for kind of like supporting us, and kind of like basically like hosting our swag store over there. So we do thank them. They've been like a great supporter throughout. Actually, anything we've done for the giveaways and stuff like that has come from them over the years. So if you've ever bought anything from us, and they've also done stuff for us for our the Jamie Carragher Foundation when we did the silent auction, which is coming up, people, in 3 months over here. So we're already starting to get prepared for that. Get more sponsors, get more people involved, get more guests. Because 24 hours straight is tricky. The more guests, the better. But have an excellent week, everybody. The Bald Crew will be back tomorrow night. Thursday night podcast, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. I will be back Friday morning. We'll see what was happening by then, but we'll probably talk more of the same. Another 24-hour torture is right. But hey, that torture, I don't know if it's torture for people watching or for us. It was a bit of both. But raised $5,000 last year for the Jamie Carragher Foundation. So like really, really proud of that. And we are going for 10,000 this year. That is our ultimate goal, is to do double what we did last year and get $10,000. So hopefully everyone will be kind of like helping us along like they did last year. We got so much support, and hence that's how we reach 5,000 at the end. So it'll be excellent to do that again. I know the foundation has been great with us and already is talking about this year and stuff like that. So looking forward to that. Well, kind of sort of, not the 24-hour part, I guess, but it was fun. It was tough, but it was fun. And honestly, like seeing the result was more fun than probably doing it. But yeah, it was great to have like $5,000, and we're shooting for 10,000 this year for the Jamie Carragher Foundation, and hopefully. Maybe we can get Jamie on live this time. I highly doubt it. We got a couple of videos sent by him as a thank you and a introduction last year, which was awesome. But yeah, maybe we'll get him on this year. We'll get lucky. We never know. So, but have a great day, everybody. Off to DMV I go. You should be going to the Jelly Fashions website that I threw in the link for, grabbing your shirts, and I'll see you guys Friday morning.